Hi, Assalamu alaikum. This is Brother Taalib, also known as Theodore Pugh, and I go Taalib Pugh today. Taalib Abdur Rahim Pugh is actually the full name that I go by as me being Muslim. Today, as I've been, as you can see over here, uh, I had read an article that was found in the social media website that I usually work in and do, and post a lot of my content for internet, interaction and networking with people, and just trying to gain, followers and this and like this in relation to my business as well as just for social networking. But by the way, the name of the website is called TSU, or we call it SU, and it's a very good social media website. That is the only main website today, right now, paying people for their time and their content that they put and post in this website. But to get to the point, I was coming across the article, which it actually has the name up there. It says, "The Night I Gave Up on Life." And I read it, and it was really, very, very, touching, as far as for people who have experienced what this individual who wrote it experienced. And, he touched basically on how he saw his life and, at the time before he led to actually even trying to take his own life. And me being Muslim, Alhamdulillah, which means all praises is due to Allah, the Lord of the worlds, the Master of the Day of Judgment. I have my ideas and insight and experience as well about this subject, and I would like to speak a little bit on it. I'm going to try to use as much time as I can for this video. If I do not finish it, I will continue with another second part, because this is a very vital, important subject to really speak on, and hopefully in hopes that it would inspire people to be leery and to try to sway away from these types of thoughts of suicidal thoughts and the likes of this, which is what this article was really based on. But you can read it. It's called "Night I Gave Up My Life." The Night I Gave Up My Life. You can find it in this website. This is called "Change Your Thoughts, Change Your Life." I guess it's a blogging website. I just linked to it from TSU. So anyway, first I would go from my point of view as a Muslim, because that's how I deal with life and many life situations, many life issues and things and problems, is from the point of view of my faith known as Islam. And to go to that, hold on, I'm going to click on it in a minute. Okay, yeah, I would like to first read, and I'm going to point this camera to me so you can see me. Well, hi everybody, okay, and hopefully this can be of some use to you, and you can make you feel better if those of you who have these thoughts, and may Allah guide you ultimately to Islam, because Islam is a full-fledged way of life that allows people to have a settled, stable mentality of existing in this life. Because as it says, I will read from this write-ups on the issues of suicidal thoughts, and it's an Islamic understanding. Every breath of a human, every moment of his or her life, in all religious traditions, their teachings, their guidance, their viewpoints, their perspectives is worth more than a priceless gem. These breaths the human being takes in order to survive in life, and moments of life itself are like the pearls of a necklace. Just as a pearl will embellish the appearance of the neck that wears the necklace of pearls, in the same way the life of an individual is enhanced by that person who looks after the moments of his life. No treasure trove of any ruler, no sultanate of any sultan, no kingdom of any king, no rulership of any queen in tantamount is equal in value to one moment of individual's life. Life, in fact, in numerous places of the Quran, either directly or indirectly, is described by Allah as a favor on human beings. In one verse of the Quran, Allah says, "How can you disbelieve, seeing that you were dead, and He gave you life? Then He will give you death, then again will bring you to life on the day of resurrection. And then upon Him you will return." And this is in Surah Al-Baqarah. That is the second chapter of the Quran. And the verse is 28. Okay, so to basically expound, the Islam, we find that life is very precious. Life is very precious. It's also said in the Quran, in Allah, and I will not paraphrase, but from what I remember, that when a man takes one's life, it's like taking all of creation's life. Or if a human being takes another human being's life, it's like taking all of the life of human beings. And this is the stance, this is the position, this is the seriousness that we hold as Muslims in Islam. Now, the things that you've seen on the media and the TV and we call it false flagging in the so-called, they call us conspiracy theorist arena, but it is true, and the proof has been proven. But that's a whole nother story and a whole nother video. But that they have painted the image of Islam to be that it is something that lacks the preservation of life and the care about life of human life as well as other life. That we don't have no care, we blow ourselves up and commit suicide. Okay, that's just like what we're reading about. But this is not what is from Islam. Islam is totally against this. It doesn't constitute, it doesn't support these types of mentalities. They're not from Islam. It's not from the Quran. The Quran speaks against it. It's not from the hadiths of the Prophet. They speak against it, and the scholars and everything. I mean, it's not from Islam. It's not. And the proof is there. You can learn if you follow and you don't understand about Islam, then speak to a person who's Muslim, a basic person, that not somebody who's going to kill you in Syria or something like this, but to a person who might be there at a masjid that you might live near, and you can go and ask them a simple question. More off, they're not going to come to you in a conflictive, hostile way. They're going to be very open to answer the questions, and hopefully they answer them correctly to the best of their knowledge that they have. So, but let me just move this camera a little bit more. I have more to go on. Okay. And it says, out of all the bounties Allah has bestowed upon human beings, the most precious is the gift of life. Each one of us should remember that this life Allah has granted us is not our personal possession or our personal property. As some in other religions, they might say this is a vessel, our body is a vessel, we've been given this as a blessing and we have to take care of it. Not just in Islam. In fact, it is a trust from Allah. So this is a trust from Allah, something that you've been given to take care of, making us merely trustees. So you're trusted, and Allah is trusting in you to take care of this which He gave to you. Because we are trustees, we should utilize each and every moment of our lives in the paths that please Allah. And in one verse of the Quran, Allah informs mankind, and I, Allah, created not the jinn and mankind except that they should worship me alone. And I know of this ayat very well. In Surah Ad-Duriyat, verse 56. Okay, so this is said that what Allah says, that we have been created for the main purpose to worship Him alone. So our body and everything, our soul and who we are, is like a borrowed thing, and we have to take care of it. From this verse, we can learn the reason why Allah created mankind. How precious is the gift of life, we can learn through the Holy Quran, a hadith, which means hadith, and that's the traditions and sayings of the Prophet Muhammad, may the peace and blessings be upon him, and the Sharia, which is, is Islamic law, true Islamic law, not TV news, CNN versions of Islamic law. For instance, in one verse of the Quran, Allah says, He has forbidden you only the flesh of dead animals. It says here, carrion, which is CRRION, which is a word I'm not too familiar with, but it means flesh of dead animals, and blood, and flesh of swine, which is pig, pork, or boars or whatever. They're from the same family. And that which is slaughtered as a sacrifice for others than Allah. So anything that people sacrifice onto other idols and gods, this is not permissible for us as Muslims especially, and even for the non-Muslims. But we can't put it on y'all, those of you who are non-Muslims. So it's on us, because we do believe and we practice this faith. We can't force upon those who do not practice, but it is impermissible for all human beings. But if one is forced by necessity without willful disobedience or nor transgression due limits, then there is no sin on him. So if we were forced to eat these things, if we were forced to do what is forbidden, then it's not against us because we're being forced, like in slavery or oppression of any kind. Truly, Allah is often forgiving, most merciful. And this is in Surah Al-Baqarah again, the second chapter of the Quran, verse 173. And so that's a good amount from there, and maybe if I don't have time, I'll do some more reading from this, because it's very good and informative. But also I would like to touch on some reality today besides that article that inspired me to even do this video. They have here, let me just turn this around for you, the rapper, or it's a rapper dancer dead in reported murder-suicide. The rapper's name, I think it's supposed to be, what's his name? Earl Hayes, reportedly shot and killed his wife, Stephanie Mosley, before turning the gun on himself. So, what this is saying right here is just showing the bad and the unfortunate realities and evils of the people that they don't know, and they're falling into this because they don't have no guidance, they don't have no direction. Many people, they have their desires in front of their lives to guide them, and they think that they're going to be fulfilled and they're going to be happy and whatever. But the desire is from what is in your heart and your mind, and it's imperfect. But Allah is perfect, and His knowledge and everything that He's got is totally perfect, because He knows everything. He knows what we need. He knows what we don't need. So when you put your trust in your Lord and you focus on your life and worship and direction that Allah has placed you here for and created you to do, which is worship Him and please Him, He's going to in return give you the guidance and the happiness that you need in such of a hard world. Because the hard world is what man brought. Allah didn't do it. God didn't do it. Everybody wants to blame God. Everybody wants to fall out and cop out and then go and commit suicide out of life, because they don't want to accept and believe in their Lord that has given them life, and they want to be away from it. No, I don't want religion because my family, and it was a whole lot of hypocrites. That's not the position or the reason or the excuse that you can say, okay, there's no God now, and so now you're atheist and you don't want to deal with religion because you saw bad in life, because things that you saw in your family in life that you thought was connected with the religion. Then maybe you're in the wrong religion, or maybe because you didn't understand it well, you didn't have it inside you to practice it for you, and that it would make it right for you. You know what I mean? Because everybody has their own way of how they deal with religion. In Islam, we say our faith can increase and decrease, and this is like that in any religion. But in Islam, it's the same. But in Islam, when your faith decreases, you're taught how to increase the faith. Not to commit suicide or look to these things or these other directions of escapisms, drugs, and becoming a sexual fiend or something like this, or fiend or dependent on anything to make you happy. People talking about, I'm going to get my drink on today and like this, and get, because you're trying to escape the realities that you don't want to face. But Islam teaches the person to face these realities. Well, how you think, and if you ever come upon Muslims, that their faith is so strong that even in harsh times they still believe? Because Islam is the pure belief. This is why. So I'm just not trying to make you come to the faith or convert you. I'm trying to give you what's the truth. I'm trying to give you what's the best in the path for you to be able to avoid these types of bad and evils that the people are doing to themselves, and don't think and don't even realize that they're going to be dealing with that when they meet Allah. As a matter of fact, when they enter, as soon as they enter the grave, as is mentioned in the Islamic understanding, that you're going to be held accountable for your deeds right there. Maybe not judged as in a day of judgment, but you're going to have to face them up, and you're going to know what's going to come when you meet Allah. And it's going to be so much anxiety and fear and sadness and misery while you're in your grave alone, because you already know now you can't come back here. You can't come back after you've taken your life and committed suicide, and you realize this was the wrong thing, and it is. And let's just get on a sensible basis. It doesn't change anything. All the problems or the reasons that you had led to where you decided to commit suicide, and you did succeed, and Allah allowed your life to be taken. Not like this guy in the article, as you will read, that he ended up alive in the hospital because his father got him before he fully went out of this life, and they brought him to the hospital and revived him or did whatever medical procedures they needed to do to bring him back, and he was alive, and he learned from it, and then he made better in his life. He realized that he had to try to alter the things in his life to make himself more happier, and not to feel like he needed to end it and cop out. And that's what it is. I'm not trying to throw pointers at anybody. I know it's a sensitive subject, but don't cop out of life. Life is worth more than this. That you think that, because you see so much bad and hate, and you don't know, because what you're here for is the purpose to please Allah, because there's a life after this. So you're proving yourself like we do in school, and we take tests, and we're trying to do things that we want to do to make Allah, make those people pleased with us, and that they will give us certificates and graduates and diplomas so we can go on to a better part in our life. But in life, period, who gave us the life, we have to prove ourselves to Him, so then He can give us a greater living in a life that's the hereafter. And that's for those who believe. If you don't believe, then you need to get on the path to start learning how to believe. You need to follow and learn and see the things that you might have not learned in the religions that you rejected later on because you're atheist now, or you even worshiping the devil, which is so foolish, because the devil, he's a creation of the same being, of the same creator, and he knows what he's doing. He's just tricking all of you. Following him, pumping up your signs and putting up pyramids and all this idol worship and occult stuff. I mean, all your people don't even realize that Allah got dominion over all of this, and there's nothing is going to be able to stop when his time comes. He's just letting us live our lives out. And the ones who are going astray, He'll let you live your life going astray. The ones who are believers and following Him, you're going to live your life following Him until He takes us all and then raises us up again, gives us life again, and then judges us. Then there's going to be determination. The people who believe, go to where Allah is pleased with. The people who disbelieve, go to where Allah is displeased with. Or that where Allah for the displeasing people are going to go. And that's all it's going to be. And, you can deny it. It's up to you. Fine, whatever. There's no force in it to make you what you don't want to be. You don't want to follow. You don't want to take what I'm saying because I'm Muslim, because CNN tells you other than what you think I am or what I'm telling you I am. I'm a terrorist or whatever, foolishness that people want to think. Because when I say foolishness, it's a whole lot of ignorance. You need to learn about the thing that you don't believe in. At least learn about it. Even me with the Satan worshippers and whatever, I've studied before Islam, even when I was on the path of learning about God and coming closer to Allah, coming closer to God, becoming religious, per se, as they say, religious. But now it's a practice, a way of my life. Islam is a way of life. We don't consider it a religion per se because it gets categorized and stereotyped like other religions, and people feel that takes away from its basic strength of being something real. There's something that just not people pick and choose because they want to be spiritual. No, this is a way of life that has been presented from the beginning that man was put on this earth, and even beyond that. All of Allah's creation are part of this life that He made. So, it's precious, and we shouldn't try to take it without any unjust reason, especially ourselves. We don't have the right to take our own life. We don't have the right to do it under any circumstances. But when you do it, if He allows you to, that is a going astray. And your going astray will go straight to the hellfire, because you're going to die, and you're going to die sinning. Now, if you're a Muslim, you die sinning, you're going to go to the hellfire too. Just because you're Muslim don't mean you're not. This is what He says, but this is the belief that we have to take. If we don't believe in it, then you're going to see it and find out for yourself. And I pray that Allah guides those who are not Muslim to Islam, because I have seen what the truth is and learned, and it has helped me to stay away from this type of mentality of suicide. And even in the suicide bombers and those radicalized, extreme, out of the fold of Islam, sometimes Muslims that go and do these things, the evil in their minds and their hearts misguiding them, and they're going to be in the hellfire as well for their actions. ISIS and Al-Qaeda and all these other groups, they're done. They're going to go down if they don't change their way and their mindset and follow on the true path of Islam. They're going to get what's coming to them in that day too. And may Allah help us and guide us continuously, all of us Muslims and those who are not, to Islam. Ameen. Thank you for listening. And this is your friendly neighborhood Muslim, Taalib Abdur Rahim Pugh. And I'm over and out. And bye-bye.